Hi guys, good
Ah,
morning.
good morning, Mr. Bum Bum here. Sup, Dean? I appreciate your ever support of my channel.
Hello, Dean.
And Miss Red Horse here, Dean.
Hi.
Well, first and foremost, guys, I just want to make a quick statement. Once again, I set up a website, qgives.com, and I hope for you guys to come take a look and just have a good understanding of what I'm trying to accomplish here in the Philippines. And then, secondly, it's just like I really appreciate gaining a lot of supporters and viewers as well as subscribers through our celebrity Ken, which I really appreciate. However, guys, I noticed that my other videos are getting like it doesn't coordinate with the subscribers that I have. I'm getting like under 3,000 views. I'm hoping and wishing, and for you guys to for the viewers of Ken's videos would view my other videos as well as my philanthropy work here in the Philippines is an emphasis on the younger generation, those in the late high school, early college, to mentor them as well as to see them through. I identify those who have high potentials, in my opinion and from my observation, and I hope to help them elevate and extend resources to them, to help elevate their life and pursue a sensible career. Next is my honey here. With her channel, I really hope that I'm asking you to go over to her channel, Philippines with I. That's Philippines with WIHI spelled AI. Philippines with I. Going forward, we're revamping her channel, and I'm going to be on her channel a lot, just to separate my Q Adventures channel instead of having like a mix thing like how we had it towards the beginning, because we were still working hard to gain viewership and subscribers. Now that I'm a little bit more established and my channel is growing, I am going to strictly keep my channel as adventures, showing or featuring the path less taken within the Philippines, as well as the cultural and philanthropy aspect within my channel. And then everything else, as far as advice and our findings in the Philippines, um, we want to share our findings and experiences in the Philippines in her through her channel. So we're going to talk a lot about visa options, the non-traditional stuff as well, how a foreigner like me was able to open up a business here in the Philippines, what that entails, and what your options are. There's a lot of content out there, once again, discussing, how to, take the Filipina out of the Philippines, travel and stuff like that. And um, the common things that we have found is just, either through the traditional fiance visa, spousal visa, and working overseas visa, and everything pertaining to requiring or requiring a sponsor one way or the other. And then we just came back from Singapore. She didn't have a sponsor going through immigration. It's just like immigration, of course, asked her who the who her sponsor is.
Yes.
And of course her answer to that is, I sponsor myself. And we like to share those kind of experiences with you guys through her channel, Philippines with I. So I hope what we are trying to accomplish with that is to share non-traditional and unorthodox way of like how we do things, and how we are throwing poop on the wall and see what stick. Through our success and failures, we want to share that experience, so you have an option to kind of do your due diligence and weigh what process is correct for you. It's just like on top of what is available out there. So I hope you guys come to her channel, Philippines with I, to support her channel. You'll be seeing my pretty face
Yes.
over there on her
Beauty,
channel.
Beauty and the Beast.
Quite often we joke about that. Sarcasm,
Yes.
guys, sarcasm. But yeah, other than that, like Ken, he is the superstar and he is the celebrity. Every time I make a video of him, I get a minimum of 10,000 views. And yes, of course, like Ken being on my channel, I have his full consent and permission to be on my channel, and he understands that by him being on my channel, I gain monetization from it. And that's how, through my monetization, that is how I am able to pursue my philanthropy work here, along with my motorbike rental. So it's a different sources of income, and I do this, for profit. So that's just for the purpose of full disclosure. And with the profits from the monetization and my motorbike rental, amongst other things, it's just like I'm able to do what I do. And that's why you have noticed, especially for those who have started to follow me, in the last 2 months or so. That's why you have noticed that my channel is filled with philanthropy activities compared to my earlier days, because my earlier days, I was still reliant on my personal finances back in the States. So, as of current, because of my growth in my YouTube channel, thanks to people like Jill and Luchelle May, as well as Ken, it helps my channel grow, which in turns, Google AdSense pay me a bigger salary or commission per se. And then with that money, I'm able to buy kids shoes, along with, donations from in the shoe in specific, Tino, who sent $100 flat, which there's logistics to it. When Tino sent me $100, PayPal grabs 3%, 3 or 4%. I don't remember exactly. And then on top of that, I have to, like I am obligated to tax. But I don't take anything away from, the $100 that, Tino sent to me. It's just like I pay the U.S. taxes because I'm a U.S. citizen, and, my PayPal account is registered in PayPal. So, I pay the taxes through my, business proceeds, as well as my YouTube monetization. And then also, like on top of that, I kick, for that specific example, I kick in $60 to buy those, like those extra kids shoes. I just couldn't turn them away. So, but it was good content, and it was, it made my heart feel good, and that's what matters. Getting back to Ken, yesterday, Ken indicated to me that, he just had white rice for lunch. So, it didn't, sit right with me. So we brought some hot food, vegetable soup, vegetable pork soup to him. And being a Sunday yesterday, once we walk into, to deliver the food to Ken, apparently the caregiver, some relatives and stuff like that was present. And, there was a lot of shouting going on, and
Yes.
Ken indicating to us that, there was, a lot of negativity was, directed at him. And I didn't know what was going on. And I didn't know, we were walking into, a nuclear situation. So a lot of things were said in Bisaya, which I don't understand. And, I was trying to make sense of it. But, there was a lot of things that were said that was completely irrelevant. I'm more of a straight to the point guy. And I know culturally, in the Filipino culture, there are, in conversation, there are a lot more context than needed to make a specific point. So the bottom line is, it's just like all negativity aside, there was a lot of third party hearsay, it's just like they tell me something that is not right. I follow up with a question, and the answer is, I don't know. And then I'm like, why are you telling me something that, you don't have a rebuttal to? It's just like, why don't you invite the person who said all these things to have a direct conversation with me? So long story short, Ryan, who was the young gentleman who had been helping Ken out and filing the what you call it, the emergency evacuation petition with the UK embassy. Before I met Ken, before I stumbled across Ken, the filing was already made, and I wasn't aware of that. And initially, when I first met Ken, I reached out through Ken's messenger account, through Ken's phone. Reach out to Ryan. Suggesting that we met so we can work as a team. And he declined it, and he indicated that he has a mistrust of vloggers, which I don't blame him. But once again, long story short, it's just like he ended up coming over yesterday, and when he exited the car, he was he had his defenses up. He looked very unhappy, and so when he got out of his car and he was approaching me, and I just reached out my hand and I just told him flat out, I came in peace. And I guess with that gesture, he let his guards down a little bit, and I just took initiative to introduce myself, and I just flat out told him, hey, listen, I want to work with you as a team. The goal here is to get Ken home. I'm not here to fight you. I'm not here to undo your progress, basically. So with that said, he calmed down a little bit, and we were able to sit in front of Ken and had an adult, mature conversation. And I've learned, all the progress that he's made. And I conveyed to him, of what I was doing. And, and I admitted that because I didn't know, his progress and what was done on his side, me getting in contact with JRC and immigration was probably not necessary. So we came to that agreement, and we shared a lot of details, a lot of progress. We shared a lot of progress, and we were able to get an understanding, and decided to work together. And then Ryan was able to share with me that he last spoke with the UK embassy, I believe last Monday, and was able to get a confirmation that the petition is close to being approved. The UK embassy is setting up now for Ken to get his biometrics fingerprinted and stuff like that. Originally, he was supposed to go to Manila to get that done at the UK embassy, but because Ryan had a conversation with them and explained to them that Ken is not in the health condition to go to Manila by himself. So it took another week or so for the UK embassy to set up the biometrics to be taken here in Cebu, and or find a qualified institution to do the fingerprints and stuff like that, based on the UK standards. I guess I don't know the details, but that's what I was told. So yeah, so that was a lot of progress. And then once his biometrics is done, as I understand it, again, this is in the hands of the embassy of government now, not to me. I'm just speculating that or what the information is conveyed to me is just that after Ken's biometrics is done, the background check will probably take like a week or so, and thereafter the UK embassy will fly him back to the UK. And to what the final destination is, we still have to work that out. And between me and Ryan, we are going to try to drive through the point that Ken doesn't have any living relatives. So like wherever we are, wherever we fly him is going to be a strange location for Ken anyway. But it's still better than staying in the Philippines, because by Ken staying in the Philippines right here, healthcare does cost money. And not only does it cost money, I don't want this to be interpreted as a negative about the Philippines, but it's just like the medical facilities here are a little bit lacking compared to, like the UK or the United States or something like that. And of course, by Ken going home, he would get free healthcare and stuff like that. And through working, by working through Stacy, one of the new subscribers and viewers and newfound friend, we are working diligently. And Stacy, if you're watching, I apologize that I haven't responded to your messenger text, because on the weekends I am very busy because we work on gathering contents. We want to take advantage of people not working and people not going to school, so we go and float around, like basically work on the field on Saturdays and Sundays. So I haven't gotten back to your message, but and it was a very long message, and I didn't want to just skim through it. I want it to be my response to be meaningful and in detail. So I'll get back to you momentarily, Stacy. So I apologize. And through working Stacy, we're looking for charitable organizations to receive Ken wherever he lands. And we cannot start that process until we are given a final destination for or final arrival for Ken. So that in itself, there's a logistics towards it. So it requires work. It's not something that we want to do it and it gets done. It doesn't work that way. So but Ken is in good spirits. Besides yesterday, it was a very brief moment of negativity, but once Ryan arrived and we were able to establish direct conversation, we squashed all that poisonous verbiage and conversation and stuff like that. And when we're able to establish a direct conversation and get each other's point, talk like adults, instead of talking through a messenger, it's just things are just a lot better. So I'm very glad that we have gained a what do you call it? The opposite of a foe, an ally. Yeah. So we have gained an ally who was working diligently and productively in the Ken situation in an effort to get him home over, speculations of, one another's doing harm, So I'm very grateful for that. And we've made a lot of progress. And, I myself is getting in contact with Emmanuel, which is the representative at the UK embassy, and try to rush the process because it is dire, it is urgent. And also, with Ken's, we haven't had luck with Ken's Social Security reinstatement confirmation. So I hate to bother people. And although I see Paul as Paul McGill, old dog, my mentor, he is the very gentleman who was kind enough to grant me my first interview on his channel. So every time I go to Dumageddon, I pay my respect by, inviting him out and buying him a coffee. And I find, even though, it's just I just don't like to bother people. I don't like to ask for favors. But, I finally tapped out and I reached out to Paul asking for help in through his resources and help us get a solution or overcome the obstacles in Ken's Social Security reinstatement situation. And Paul was able to help. I sent him an email. He forwarded the email, and then he was able to Paul was able to confirm with me this very morning that his guy in the Social Security Administration received the information. And whether they're able to send us progress in 2 days or 2 weeks, that's a different story. But it's still a positive, better than keeping Ken here at midnight or 1 a.m. Trying to chase down a random Social Security Administration call center representative. It just wears Ken down, and it just wears me down. And when you guys see my video with Ken, it's just off camera. You guys have to understand that a friendship between Ken and I have built, and then during the times that the available times that I have, I do walk in, as far as I can. And each time we walk a little bit further just for me to observe his ability and his progress. So with that said, off camera, like during our long walks, whether it's 15, 20, 30 minutes, it's just like we spit a lot of insults, like between us, just in the name of humor, sarcastic humor. So when we're on camera and like sometimes my profanity slip here and there, just because I do philanthropy work here, guys, please understand that I'm not incapable of profanity. So I'm still me. It's just like and with Ken, it's just like we have a very sarcastic. And for everybody who has visited me here in the Philippines at my residence, and we've shared a lunch or sat together for like a chit chat or something like that, you come to understand my personality. It's just like I have a very foul mouth. It's just like it's my upbringing, it's my career in sales. It's just like I'm very casual, but I do understand that when I turn on that camera, my audience is more broad, and I do look at the demographics of my audience, and I try to like keep from using profanity, not only to satisfy like YouTube's wokeism, and but I also want to like extend my respect to my audience as well. But like generally, it's just like even she and I, it's like I taught her so many profanities. Not that it's a good thing, but I find humor in it. It's just the context. Okay, so if you guys catch me saying something to Ken, like do understand that that's like a sense of humor that Ken and I have. Okay, not that I want to disrespect my elders in any way. I know my place. Okay, I know my age, and I know like Ken is my much elder, and I do give him a lot of respect. But like that's just a sense of humor, and laughter is uh, medicine to life. So do understand that and cut me a little bit slack, and not tell me that I'm a rude person or disrespectful person, because I'm not. Generally, I'm not, at least. All right, let's get a look at some of these messages. And yeah, am I missing anything, honey?
No. So let's start reading
Dean, man, what's up with this Mr. Bum Bum thing? I love you, man, but we're human, It's just uh Bum Bum is always going on, okay?
Bum. Why did he call me Miss Red
It's
Horse?
just it's a sense of humor, honey.
Yeah.
Because Red Horse is, I guess, known as the national beer
Philippines.
of the Philippines, because San Miguel is a little
Yeah.
bit more expensive. It's not. I mean, it is a Philippines beer, but
Yeah.
it's not as commonly consumed as it is Red Horse. Good morning, Timmy. I'm so sorry that we never got around to having that lunch. Although I would love to do that. Yeah, we just came back from Singapore, which was, like, and a lot of people ask me how Singapore is. To someone like me who was raised in Los Angeles and lived in Las Vegas for 8 years. It's like bleh. But the trip was more about her than it is about me. If it was up to me, I would never go to Singapore. It's a small country, and like nothing really fascinates me. It's just like, to me, it's just like been there, done that. Also people inquired that I go to that casino. It's like I lived in Vegas for 8 years. I've done all that casino stuff, and I had the privilege of staying in. I'm not a gambler. I'm not a big spender, but through meeting friends and high managements in these MGM resorts and stuff like. I mean, I'm sorry, MGM companies and stuff like that. I had the privilege of staying in high roller suites and stuff like that. So like these luxury stuff, like I've experienced it, and been there, done that, and I really don't care to. It doesn't fascinate me. But for her, like how was your experience, honey?
For me, it's so fascinating, especially the area was so clean and not polluted. Everywhere you can feel like you're safe, even if in the middle of the night, because they have lots of CCTV there everywhere you're gonna look at.
Big brother. For
Yes.
us, who came from Western society, we call it big brother. Especially for those who are anti-government. But for her, it's absolute safety, and like
Yes.
she's 100%, like subscribed to that. But for someone like me, I prefer a little bit more privacy, and I can tolerate a little bit more risk. But yeah, I mean, it was a very enjoyable
Yes.
experience, and we want to, yeah, next, like on December 10th or 11th, we're flying to Thailand, and we're gonna try to pull that and see if she can exit the country again. But
Pray
with
for me.
yeah, pray for her, guys. But the more immigration stamps that she has on her passport, the easier it gets, and the less question, the immigration questions, like the list,
Getting
yeah.
small.
So
Yes.
so we're hoping to, like, and then the following month we're hoping to go to I'm sorry, Vietnam after Thailand.
Yeah.
So for subscribers in Thailand and
Yes.
in Vietnam, if y'all want to meet up, shoot us a message or a private message, because messages here on my message board, it gets buried. And
So message us before the schedule of our flight so that we can make a appointment.
well, yeah, I mean, like I'm comfortable enough to roam around myself. But if you
Yeah.
guys want to meet up to chit chat or
Yes.
share lunch, a meal or something, again, we're very open to meeting our
Yes.
subscribers and supporters. And we don't charge a dime in meeting you guys, by the way, guys.
Yeah, because when we're in Singapore, we received the message. It's already late.
Yeah,
We're already in the Philippines, so we
we
don't
already
have.
left.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
have chance to meet you guys. We are very sorry about that.
yeah, for subscribers and viewers in Singapore, I apologize because it was only like, like a 48
48
hour
hours
trip.
only.
Yeah, so it served the purpose of collecting her a stamp. Don't do that, honey. You're shaking
Ay,
the, yeah, you're
sorry.
kicking the desk, and you're shaking the table. um but anyway, yeah, and I make, like a very general comment that it was a very expensive, like stamp. It's just my way of communicating. At the end of the day, the 48 hours cost us about 1,000 US dollars for the flight there, the whole, $76 per night hotel, and the flight back, and all the eating that we do. So the word expensive is put in perspective. But like my analogy of, yeah, I guess, like my way of saying, like expensive, is just like, I just look at it, it's just aside from it, we're spending all that money to get that one stamp, that's just my reference. So I apologize if I led any of you to any kind of misunderstanding. Yeah, thank you very much, Jan on Lamb. Yeah, like we always make that walk to Mactan Newtown, and then we always pass by that, like a shoe store.
Yes.
And in my, coming from Los Angeles, when I'm, in my brain, it's like a pair of shoes for $10, just like, it's probably trash, and it's probably not worth it, like this and that. But like when we tested the water one day, when you start observing these kids, wearing like half broken thong flip flops, playing basketball, and trying to do the little, like spin moves and stuff like that. It's you know then things start to register in my mind. It's just like, okay, a $10 pair of basketball shoes is better than that. And then it's just like my perspective change. And then, like the first kids, how many kids did we buy? Four, three,
Four.
four. Okay. So the first four kids that we bought shoes for, like they said, it's very comfortable. And when they run and stuff like that, I was surprised by their reaction. But maybe they don't know, they don't have a reference. I don't know. I've never worn these shoes myself. But since they were so happy, at it, and Tino um, coincidentally, reached out to me to ask if that was possible. I'm like, hell yeah, it's possible. And then yeah, we pulled the trigger, and then it worked out well. So like and then we in turn, the positive I'm sorry, the positive consequence of it is just that we drive a lot of business just from one customer to that specific business. So like the store owner was very grateful, and I guess our friendship uh, started from that. Every time we walk past by now, she's always so happy and waving hi. When we pass, because we always make that long walk
Yeah.
after dinner, and it's just to be active a little bit, I guess. Eddie Davis, I gotta acknowledge you, Eddie. I really appreciate you. Being a subscriber from the very beginning of my of my
Yeah.
channel, and you hung on there, and I really appreciate the love and the support. And I had the privilege of meeting you and sharing a very productive and proactive conversation over lunch, and I really appreciate you treating me for lunch. In the very beginning of my channel, and I never forget that. I am Groot. What's up, Groot? Yeah, for sure, Iron Horse, man. I want to meet you in person. It's just like you're so interactive in my channel, and I wanna like meet the man behind the name. And
Yeah.
a horse is I was born in the year of the horse, and of course a horse and a monkey. Those are my two favorite animals.
They are good combination.
I'm not sure what you are referring to, Eddie. What do you mean by farming out motorcycle rentals? Yeah, don't Jen on the lamb. Don't misinterpret what I say. Also, like we don't feed him every day, unfortunately. Because our time is also very busy. But like Ken and I, like um,
Chat.
exchange messages, on a daily basis, just for me to check in on him. But like I just don't, I come to find out that like he gets embarrassed, and then sometimes like he's hungry, and we're out and about, and he doesn't tell us. And which is if he tells us, it's a very easy solution. It's just like Grab Eats, which is similar to Uber Eats, to the westerns, or to the territories that Uber operates. Like we can simply, easily, very affordably get a warm meal delivered to him. But he never tells us. He only tells us after the fact.
Yeah.
And like I keep trying to explain to him, Ken, don't be embarrassed. It's just like the priority here is to get his health back into like gain weight, basically, for a lack of better word. And it's just like he's telling us anyway, whether it's before or after the fact. So I really appreciate him telling me before the fact. So he doesn't just eat white rice or whatever the case is. Okay. So yeah, but whenever we cook at home and eat at home, I do walk a few houses down and pick up Kim and have him sit and eat with us. And but sometimes like the girls messed up on uh the pork, and it becomes very chewy and stuff like that, then it's just like I try to order Ken something. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. Ig micro. I really appreciate it, and yeah, and I take a very different approach. Like I said many times, it's just like every cause is noble. Solving world hunger, solving homeless problems, everything is noble, but none of those are my uh, I don't see myself being proactive or proficient in it. So I take the approach of one at a time, and I identify the younger generation who has like potential to elevate. And if I see that like they have that potential, but they don't have access to the proper resources to elevate, and that's when I try to get involved. But a lot of times, like after we make that conversation and we have an understanding, a lot of times some do have other agendas. that become clear to me, and that's when I, like politely and graciously apologize and pull out from it. I don't like doing that, but it's just I think it's a necessity because I don't want people with I'm trying to find the right words to say it here. It's just like I don't want people with, I guess, their own agendas, or like a puppet master in the background, to push their agenda through this person and take away resources to people with, like honest and good intentions and the motivations to become successful. It's a very difficult thing, especially sometimes, I have to say no to people, but it's a necessity. But thank you for recognizing what I do and my intentions and my approach. Very different. George, hello there. Yeah, John is actually coming back. John, who had been with us for quite a while, and he's been on a few of our videos. I believe he's from Chandler, Arizona, somewhere in Phoenix, one of the suburbs in Phoenix. But he's a very gentleman who bought a bike and left it with me for rental, and asked us to, just use the proceeds from renting out his bike, to benefit our two adopted nieces. So he's coming back December, and I'm looking forward to him coming back. Jim Richards, we're neighbors. When we fly back to LA, we're actually going to be staying in Alhambra, where my mother is staying. So I'm gonna, we're gonna be occupying her space so I can visit my dad, who is in a nursing home also in Alhambra. So the whole purpose of going back is just to spend, a few months, 2 months, 3 months with my dad, and spend more time with my parents, as well as my son's graduation in Redondo Beach. So Buena Park is just right around the corner. Anytime, George. And like a lot of people don't believe me, and um, when I drive pretty fast here. I'm a dick. But believe it or not, it's just like uh I feel like it's a lot safer, to drive, my driving mannerism, I guess, because I'm people here, they don't really pay attention to other drivers. So when I'm passing them, to me, it's just like I'm passing danger and stuff like that. But anyway, that's irrelevant.
Oh,
Hey, Doug, thank you very much for tuning in. We haven't chat for a while, so I'm gonna make an effort to give you a call tomorrow. Tomorrow around this time, Doug. I know you're a vampire and you don't sleep, but but I miss you. And we got to work on the Q gives. There's a few things that I want to uh, pick your brain on, as well as revisions that I want to make. And Doug with Brand Solution here again. I've mentioned this before. Like he's the solo man who is responsible for designing my webpage qgives.com, and the entire setup down to the verbiage, Doug, um and he he's the man. Without him I wouldn't be as organized as I am, and I'm still very disorganized, don't get me wrong, but without Doug, my channel wouldn't grow as fast as it did. Uh, Jan on the Lamb. Very good question. This is what we are not negotiating, but it's just like I guess, like by putting Ken's videos on my vlog, there's a little bit of a disbenefit because, like now the embassy is, they're watching, you know, so they're saying that, Ken can afford to pay for his own stuff, which I contest because despite the fact that his social security benefits, like had been verbally told to us that it's reinstated, but he hasn't received a dime. So the man is still homeless and is still lacking nutritious food, and it's just even though like I invite him over to my home for for meals, and I'm exercising him. At the end of the day, I have nothing to do with the UK. It's not my responsibility. I'm more than happy to do it as a decent human being, but it's just like it's still their responsibility to get them back home. So we are still in talks that the UK embassy will pay for Ken's overstay. Um, yeah, for Ken's overstay. We still don't know what the amount is. There's the Filipino immigration office is still calculating all that overstay penalties and processing fee and stuff like that. But the UK embassy is supposed to pay that overstay on behalf of Ken, while basically holding his passport as hostage. So in the future, if Ken wants to get his passport back, he has to repay that debt. So it's a deferment. But at the same time, also, Paul McGill, Old Dog New Tricks, in Dumaguete, he made a very generous offer to me, because I don't want to do a fundraiser right now because I don't want to receive all that money to, pay Ken's overstay. And then if, it works out that, Ken gets his social security and he can afford it himself, or, the embassy pays for it, then, it's just like, then I'm receiving all this money that I have to refund. So it's a lot of work, and it's a big obligation that I don't want. So, however, getting back to my point, Paul McGill, Old Dog New Tricks out in Dumaguete, he made a very generous offer to me that if I need an emergency fundraiser, he will be more than happy to make a short video to announce to his audience, who is very keen to these stuff, as they have helped an expat go back on Paul's channel. He did a series of this expat that was stuck in the Philippines, similar to Ken, but not as dire as Ken's situation. And his audience is more keen to, making donations. And then he has a very, a huge audience base compared to my channel. So even $2 per person, based on his subscribership, that would be more than enough to pay for the penalty. But I don't want to exercise that option. But if it comes down to it, the option is there. Once again, I don't like asking for anything. Just like on my channel, I never ask for a donation. I just leave a link there for those who just want to do it out of their goodwill and their good intention, but I never ask. I don't like to ask. Guapo, what's up, per? What a name. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal it. I'm going to call myself Guapo too. A knockoff. Yes, James, there's been so many, as information, originally Ken wants to fly back to Heathrow. But, there are a lot of developments, new information came up, and then now he's, considering, landing elsewhere. And then Ken is ever changing his mind. And after talking to, the embassy, and really the final destination is going to be decided by the embassy and not Ken or us. And then we don't have control over that. So, we're just waiting on words where he's going to fly to. And once we figure that out, then we're going to start reaching out to, charities and stuff like that. So someone there, with some kind of fiduciary responsibility to look after Ken, and not a random stranger, and help him navigate through the healthcare system. And a lot of viewers and subscribers from the UK did indicate to me that it's probably a bad idea for Ken to fly into Heathrow, because London is overwhelmed with their medical facilities. Is overwhelmed with patients, and the wait list is much longer than elsewhere within the UK. I found my word, ally. The word I was looking for was ally. Thank you, Guapo. Yeah, Max, I get a lot of compliments and a lot of praise, which I really appreciate. But like, if y'all, people, if y'all are watching, if you guys can do me a favor, even more important than like cash donations, if you can share my content with friends and families, like, my goal is to get my viewership up. Once I reach, like, once my channel elevate to the point where I get constant or consistent 30K views per video, I can take care of my quest. um I'm sorry, I'm just, my brain is not waking up. It's still like not even 11 a.m over here, so my brain is still sleeping. But yeah, once I reach that like level of 30K views plus, it's just like I can pay for like resource center myself like a year in advance, and not feel, what do you call it, and not have that uncertain feeling of like am I gonna make the next month rent and stuff like that, and is this resource center for the local students going to survive? It's just like it just removes that. I want certainty, basically. So like, just the best thing you guys can do is to share my content, and like, if friends and families would support, and not only to subscribe, but to actually watch my content. If you guys are busy or whatever, just let it run in the background, no, on your desktop or whatever. It's just like, um the Google AdSense doesn't know the difference. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. I'm trying to read and talk. I'm again, I'm undiagnosed dyslexic, and I got all kinds of undiagnosed problems, and I'm doing my best. Oh, Guapo, you're from Bakersfield. I stop by Bakersfield for to fill up my gas tank all the times, but never roam around. Fascinating town, though. Joseph Basak. That's right next to Maribago, where we are. We go to the Gaisano Basak a lot. We gotta do lunch. Love meeting my supporters, huh?
Yeah. No, I just answered your comment.
Yeah, Max, I get a lot of offers, and I appreciate all you guys. But once again, it's just like, these messages get buried here, in my comment section, and like, and I try to read all my messages, but the new, like how YouTube works, is the new messages pop up on my studio, but the response, like, it gets buried, and I overlook them, and I apologize for that, and I can't possibly acknowledge every which one as my channel grow. It's just like, part of my morning routine is to sip my coffee, amongst other things, and just go through as much comments as possible.
Sorry.
Sir Rick, yeah, I've done a lot of walking, which is good for me. It was also humid there in Singapore. Did a lot of sweating, so like we on our second day, our flight was like 20 before 1 a.m. So like we walked to the, what is it,
Garden by the Bay.
yeah, Garden by the Bay, and we did the entire
Yes.
walk, and we did a lot of walk at that fancy hotel in
Marina Bay
Marina Bay, and then
and Merlion.
yeah, and then we walked to Merlion, but we didn't get to visit Merlion because it was
Under construction.
under construction. Yeah, so she was a little bit disappointed, and then we took the taxi cab back home, and I mean back to the hotel, and then we went to the airport like at 6 p.m. and we walked Terminal 4 and Terminal 1, and just we basically walked the entire day over there. So that
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
Exploring the airport.
Yeah. So let's see here. What else we got? Uh, is it pronounced Lucy? I apologize if I mispronounce it, but um, I don't know what, like, is the donation through PayPal or buy me a coffee. Can you make a reference? I'll look through it, and then I'll give you a confirmation through whatever source. Okay. I apologize again. Just like we're always on the move, and with our spare time, we spend with either Ken or mentoring. Like the local kids and stuff like that. So for those who have made donations, like I really appreciate it, and I'm very grateful, and I apologize that I don't have the opportunity to acknowledge or specifically thank you. So whether it's $1 or $100, it's just I'm grateful nevertheless, and I wish I had more time, to acknowledge everybody, but I sincerely apologize, as we spend a lot of time with mentoring the local kids, especially this young man that we bought shoe for. I think how old is Joshua? He's probably like 11 or 12. Like he caught my attention when initially we bought like ice cream for 100 kids. Like he was just running his mouth, and just the things that he says, like with the very limited English that he has, like just the things that he say, like I was just very fascinated. He's just very mature and very intelligent beyond his age. So I'm just observing the kid, and he's come over to play with my toys and skateboard and stuff like that, which allows me a better opportunity to observe, to see how I can better mentor him, or perhaps even sponsor him. So yeah, so that's what we spend a lot of our time on. I know, Doug. Quest, I'm gonna do that right now, and I should be doing it, more, and I should be doing it towards the end of I'm sorry, the very beginning of the video. And Quest, like I think Doug did a perfect job in the verbiage, but I do understand that most of us doesn't have the patience to read, like every word, as it is, quite long. But just verbally, like what I am, like Doug and I had, like a long conversation and discuss, and started up Quest, which stood for. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Doug. I forgot what it stood for. My brain. But anyway, it's what I'm trying to accomplish here is to open up a resource center to fill the void for mainly for late high schoolers and like college kids, to fill the void of whatever it is that is lacking here in the Philippines, especially psychological health. A lot of these students are um, they feel a lot of pressure from their parents and family in general, even relatives, to become successful, and which I encourage, but the level of pressure is unfathomable for someone like me who grew up in Los Angeles. Like a lot of times these students, like they are studying a course that they really don't have an interest in, but they are studying it because of the family pressure and the family, because the family thought that that was a good major, a good career field for them to pursue. So a lot of these students are dealing with a lot of psychological torment. Like not saying that it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I want to like have this resource center for them to have access to resources, whether it is a counselor or even a computer space. Like I myself personally have 7 terminals, like 3 laptops and 4 desktops that I want to set up so these kids don't have to pay to access the internet to complete their projects. And which a lot of these kids don't have the finances to like go to like an internet cafe, or to pay 5 pesos to print each page of the report. So like I want to set up like the terminals for them in a like a neutral place, hiring a local Filipino that speaks Filipino or Filipina that speaks English to like manage these kids, because I don't want that responsibility, um, and assist them through the process, like amongst other things, like as I like whatever needs or voids that I can identify, I will fill these voids in the resource center. So again, it's still in the very infant stage, but nevertheless, it's just like that is my top number one priority, and I will talk more in details about it towards the beginning of my live streams. And I anticipate to do weekly live streams at the same time, my Monday. But for those who live in the East Coast of the United States, it'll be 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday. I'm sorry, uh, every Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, like bear that in mind. We missed the last one because we were recuperating from coming back from Singapore, and we didn't sleep the entire time. So, so we had to miss that one. So I apologize for that. But that's my intention. Okay, what's next? Luis Cabo, thank you very much. I appreciate your support. And again, it's just like these kind of supports, it's just like I never expected, I never asked for it, but like since you are supporting my channel, it goes towards the whole, philanthropy movement. It's just like to helping these kids and stuff like that, and which I am grateful for. Without you guys, the supporters, the viewers, the subscribers, this wouldn't be possible. And you see the results, towards the beginning, like my earlier videos is mostly just us having fun and exploring nature and stuff like that. And more recently, it's just like I'm doing more and more because with these kind of supports, it's just like I have the finances to back me up, and not stress out about am I helping this kid, and I have to, and then I run out of finances and I have to like cut this kid short. I don't want to do that. I want to see through, and I like my hope and dream is to like to participate and attend their graduations, these kids that I mentor. And I don't want to get emotional right now, but that's the hope and dream. So it is what it is. Ride for life. I don't know if that's in reference to motorbike riding, but it's just I'm looking to start a crew, and I'm looking to start a crew, to here in Lapu Lapu. If you're local, I would love to meet you and see if we can work out somewhere. We go out recruit, and then maybe every Sunday, like we can ride out and look for good deeds to do. Like I most often, like I when we're driving, I see people like they're pushing the motorbike, the broke down motorbike, in the middle of the day. It's super hot and stuff like that. Sometimes they just ran out of gas, and I drive around with my little siphon hose. I see that the Filipinos are very common. They use a straw and like suck out the gasoline, like and hold it in their mouth and spit it in their empty tank. Uh, that's probably not a good thing, guys. Not probably, but definitely not a good thing. So I drive around with a siphon hose. Sometimes we, stop by to, like, just give them some gas so they can get, to their destination and stuff like that. Um, and then also, like, I see people, like their jeepneys break down, and then the driver is just pushing the jeepney by himself. Like we stop and we help him out, so we can get together a crew and like do like a moto vlog or a moto philanthropy vlog, and just ride for the purpose of riding, because we like riding. But if we come across people in need, we can stop by and just give a helping hand, and maybe we can create, like, uh, a fun channel, and make our viewers feel good, and see the goodness in humanity, and that will be, I think, a good idea, and that's the purpose of me trying to recruit, like a riding crew. And of course, I want to make the bikes look nice, and for the show the midlife crisis in me. I'm Derek. Teresa, I'm Derek. Ken is the elderly gentleman that we're helping out, and I really appreciate your subscribership, and absolutely grateful. But uh, amongst others, it's just like I understand that you guys found me through Ken, but like I have plenty of other videos, uh, that I help, like the younger generation, which is the demographic that I target. Ken just happened to be a coincidence, neighbor that was really in dire need, from my observation, in dire need of help, and we just intervened. But our other videos, like the demographics is different, but the cause is, I hope to my other videos. I hope to help, to make you shed tears of joy. Just a quick example: Jail Mountain Angel Diary. It's just like, we found her by accident, and now she is super, like, independent. Her entire family is independent, from our doing, and we take pride in that. And Marilyn in Mandawi, like we help her build the entire second, not build, but enclose the entire second floor, through one of our subscribers' donation as well, and I did the labor. But it's just like those are the things that we do, and we hope to gain your support in those videos as well. Oh, thank you very much. I'm sorry. What is it? Vibes?
Vibes with Kiki.
Yeah, vibes. I really appreciate it, and you're gonna get me emotional right now. Let's move on. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, I got tattoos, but I'm an emotional guy, guys. Uh, oh, thank you, friends. Never had the opportunity to visit Europe proper, but someday me personally, I really don't. I don't know. I just never saw the personally. I rather go to, say, for example, snowboard in Ukraine or something like that, or the Swiss Alps. Uh, but I think after meeting her, I do have like an interest to visit like Champs Elysees, or even down in southern France, Lyon, where all the Michelin chef got their initial training from. So that's pretty cool. Oh no, Eddie. You know, like since like I look at the numbers and stuff like that, I still have inquiries, but I don't have any, like solid offers yet, or no paperwork is being done yet. And you're still renting from me even if I sell it, Eddie. It's just like part of the sales agreement would be I would continue to like work in conjunction with the new owner, to make sure that well, not first and foremost, I'm going to promote. uh, Sorry, let me again, this is still early morning for me. First and foremost, it's just like they're buying, anybody can start a motorbike rental business, but most of it is just the marketing aspect of it, as well as the Q Adventures corporation that they're buying, that is registered, which works in conjunction with my Q Adventures channel. So I will continue to promote there. Um, um, motorbike rental business, because it is in my opinion, it's a necessity to rent one and to enjoy that freedom outside the flights and outside the buses that take you from point A to point B, and you pass by all these beautiful pocket, barangays that on a motorbike you can simply easily pull over and make a memorable um, experience for yourself. So like I will continue to work with, if I end up selling the motorbike, I will continue to work with the new owners to promote their business through my channel, because I have no interest in starting another motorbike rental. Zero interest, because the only reason why I want to sell it is because of my attention span is very short. I like to start new things, work on it, and once it reaches a level of success, it's just like I don't want to babysit inventory anymore. It's just like I want to start new projects, and like and nurture that to success. And I'm sure whatever I start, at some point I want to sell it, because it's just like once it reaches a level of success, it just becomes, to me, stagnant. The income is great, but I need excitement in my life.
Mr. Kareem.
Mr. Kareem, thank you for
Hi,
tuning in.
Johnny.
Johnny boy. Yeah, John is from Arizona there,
Yes.
that is coming back, that I mentioned earlier, that he has his motorbike park here, and your Kali is ready for you, okay, on the
Yes.
day of arrival. I
Pop
got you.
ups. We're waiting.
All right, guys. I apologize, but they're working on the septic tank in the back, and we have our fan on over there, and the smell is coming in. This is terrible. I gotta cut this short, although I wanted to spend another 20 minutes going through these messages, but this is the septic tank thing is becoming unbearable. So, um, thank you guys for tuning in, and I apologize if I miss any of the important messages or any rebuttals. Uh, we'll continue to make more videos, feel good videos, and hopefully we get to reach a level of becoming an influencer and influence, like people to do something similar. Pick a cause, focus on it, vlog about it, share your experience. um we don't have to be in this, like modern culture that kind of made me decide to move away from Los Angeles. We don't have to subdue ourselves to that. There are options, there are choices. At the end of the day, we are one race. We're all Earthlings. We all breathe the same air. Nobody's air is more sweeter than another, except for right now they're working on the septic tank. My air is terrible. But other than that, it's just like it doesn't hurt to be kind to your neighbors, um, and we're experiencing that firsthand. It's just like I get more joy in helping others than to be nasty and disgusting and having a stupid attitude to a waitress that didn't bring my water in time or whatever. It's just there's no need for that, guys. There's a greater, better benefit than to be good than to be a nasty person and to subscribe to the wokeism in the modern days. So with that said, guys, thank you very much. Until next time, see
Bye.
ya.